All right, folks, Big Paul here. I want to talk about my pillars of success for bodybuilding. And at the top of that pyramid is nutrition. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this one, but for me, nutrition is the most important aspect of bodybuilding. Doesn't matter how hard you train, doesn't matter what drugs you take, unless your nutrition is buttoned up in 100%. I see it all the time. I see guys that come to me and young men that I work with that can't quite figure it out, can't quite make progress in the gym. And then we get the nutrition buttoned up and boom, all of a sudden they take a leap forward. And the thing that one of the things I like to preach to guys, and I think guys get impatient with, is that how long it takes in bodybuilding to make progress. And with nutrition, you have to stay with it. You have to stick with it for a long period of time. And you don't get cut in 4 weeks. You don't get huge in 4 weeks. You have to be patient. You have to stick with it. You have to stick with a plan. And it's detailed. It's very detailed oriented when it comes to nutrition. You have to weigh and measure your food. You're not going to have success in bodybuilding unless you're measuring and monitoring things. So for me, nutrition is at the top of this pyramid. We also have training in here too. And I think this is another area where guys get themselves twisted up into knots and make mistakes, is with the training. And bodybuilders, I don't know what it is with bodybuilders. They have this weird thing with training where they have no focus, no plan when it comes to training. Powerlifters, when you see a powerlifters program everything out. Powerlifters have a structured program. They periodize their training. They know what direction they're going to go into. They have goals that they work towards. And a lot of times what I see with young bodybuilders, they just go into the gym and they're winging it. They're not sure if they're a power lifter. They're not sure if they're a bodybuilder. They're not sure if they're a CrossFitter. So I think training with intention, training with the goal of being a bodybuilder and promoting hypertrophy. I think that's the part that a lot of guys forget when it comes to bodybuilding, is that our goal in the gym is to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, to grow, to get bigger, to stimulate hypertrophy. And you have to gear your training towards a hypertrophy mindset. And it's not to say that strength isn't important in that. We do want to progressively train. We do want to get stronger, but we want to do it within the constraints of good form and placing load on the muscle that's going to stimulate a response from the body, a growth response. So a lot of times, like, I'll see guys that associate with strength, with increased size. A lot of times you just get better at cheating. That's one of the things I see with guys, is they're winging weights around and they have no idea what they're doing with it, and they're placing all the load on connective tissue and joints. So in powerlifting, the goal is to get the weight from point A to point B in the most efficient way possible. In bodybuilding, our goal is to place the maximum amount of load on the muscle to promote a hypertrophic response and to have the proper amount of stimulus to elicit that response. So it's a very specific style of training that I think a lot of guys don't keep in mind. So button up your diet, get your training buttoned up, and train like a bodybuilder. I don't know why guys don't have the training specificity, if I can say it right, in mind when they go into a bodybuilding training program. It would be like training for soccer and being a football player. You're not going to have optimal results. So train like a bodybuilder, eat like a bodybuilder. And these are at the top of my pyramid for success with bodybuilding.